Gas up the Jeep, it's good to be free. Load up the pans and fishing poles. The highway is long, the wheels turning round. Pack up the cook stove and the bowls. Arlo and I, we hit the open road. Arlo and I are on the road.
Hey everybody, well this is Chef Bryan from Bryan's Black Mountain Barbecue in Cave Creek again, and I had so much fun doing the recipe for my tomato sandwich, and I had such a great response from that I thought that I would give away another one of our famous recipes from the restaurant. And this is probably the second most requested recipe from the restaurant, our world famous olive coleslaw. So it's another really simple recipe, but the flavors combined make a perfect coleslaw. So, all right, I've got all of my ingredients together here. First thing I'm going to do is make the slaw dressing, and then we'll combine everything to make the slaw. So, all right, for our slaw dressing, I have our bowl here, mayonnaise, some cider vinegar, white sugar, some Old Bay seasoning, and some dry thyme, and that's it for our dressing. And then for the slaw itself, we have some coleslaw here. I just grabbed some of these bags of shredded cabbage from the grocery store, and some shredded carrots here. For my slaw, we're going to have some Kalamata olives and some green olives, and then of course our dressing. So let's get started with our slaw dressing here. So I'm starting with 2 cups of mayonnaise. We'll put that into our bowl here. Okay. Actually, I don't need this more. And then I'm going to add to the mayonnaise, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of white sugar, and then 1/2 cup of cider vinegar, and then our Old Bay seasoning. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of Old Bay seasoning, just like that. And then 1 teaspoon of dry thyme leaves. Okay. Get the right one here. So just like that, 1 teaspoon of dry thyme. And then we're just going to get all this mixed together. We just want to mix this until we get the lumps out. And that's it. That is our coleslaw dressing. Now that we have our coleslaw dressing made, this makes quite a bit of dressing here, and you can just put that in a mason jar and put it in your fridge, and any time that you want to make some coleslaw, just grab a bag of cabbage, or you can chop your own fresh, and then just pour a little bit of that on there. But this is the way we did it at the restaurant. So what I have is 4 ounces of green olives, and these are just like green, like martini olives with a pimento in there. And then I have 3 ounces of pitted Kalamata olives, and I'm going to sliver these up, and I'll show you how to do that next. And then we'll have everything together, and we'll build our coleslaw. So now we're going to slice up our olives. You can do this any way you like. I'll show you the way I like to do it. I just cut them in half, and then just make them into little slivers like that. And I think that's perfect to go with the coleslaw. And just cut them sideways here like this. This is the most tedious part of this whole process, but it's well worth it in the end. It really doesn't take that long to do this. Alright, that didn't take that long, so it takes like a minute to do that. And then we'll do our Kalamata olives. These take a little bit longer, but make sure that you get the pitted Kalamatas. Otherwise, this isn't even possible to do. So that makes a big difference there. So we'll cut these in half. And we'll do the same thing with these. Now, like I said, this is the way I like to do it. I like to have them in nice little slivers. I think they complement the shape of the shredded cabbage and the carrots. But if you want, just rough chop them. You could take just a bunch of olives here and just kind of chop them up like this, and rough chop them if you prefer. I like the little slivers on there. So it just takes a little bit of extra time, but I think it's worth it. If you like big chunks of olives, you can just cut them in half, throw them in there. Doesn't even matter, just as long as you have them in there. That's the most important thing. And I like the flavor of the combination of the two olives in there. I think it makes a big difference as well. But feel free to put whatever type of olive that you like. So you could even do them this way. You don't even need to cut them in half. Just take the whole pitted Kalamata and just slice it like that. Okay, that's it. So there's our olives. So now we have everything that we need to make our coleslaw. We have our coleslaw dressing, we have our olives, we have our shredded cabbage, and our shredded carrots. So I moved to a larger bowl here, and like I said, I have these prepackaged kind of slaw mixes on here. These are 14 ounces, depending on how big of a batch you want to make. So we're going to make a kind of a large batch here. So I'm going to use 2 of these 14-ounce bags here, just like that. And then some of our shredded carrots. Now, really no particular measurement, but just maybe like 4 ounces or something like that in there. 3 or 4 ounces of the carrots just for color. And then all of our olives here. We have our Kalamata and our green olives all go into there. Okay. And then I have some of our slaw dressing, which I put into this measuring cup so it's easier to pour. So I'm going to pour that onto there. All right, then with a big spoon here, we're just going to mix this up really well. Now the amount of dressing you put on here is totally up to you. Some people like their coleslaw really wet, and some people like it a little bit drier. So just know that as the coleslaw sits, it's going to shrink down quite a bit. So even though this looks like a lot of coleslaw, it's definitely going to shrink down and become more wet as the moisture comes out of the cabbage. All right, that's it. That's the whole recipe right there. So we're just going to let this sit, let it shrink down a little bit, and then it'll be ready to eat. All right, so there it is. The world famous Bryan's Black Mountain Barbecue Olive Coleslaw. Super easy recipe to make. This was by far our most popular side in the entire restaurant. We sold more of this than anything else, as far as sides go. But take a little taste. That's it. Now, if you're worried about the olives being too much or taking over the coleslaw, well, you can just leave them out. If you don't like olives, you may or may not like this coleslaw. Although I do know many people that told me that they didn't like olives or coleslaw, and this is their favorite slaw they've ever had, and kind of changed their mind on coleslaw. So give it a try. I think it's really delicious. There's a sweetness from the sugar in the dressing. Lots of complex flavors from the Old Bay, and I think the olives really add a nice counterpoint to that. They're salty and definitely my favorite side that we used to make, and really, really good. If you can find it, that recipe is in my cookbook, the Bryan Stories and Recipes from Bryan's Black Mountain Barbecue. This is out of print. I don't have any more copies of this, so I'm not trying to make money on this or anything. But if you can find a copy somewhere on eBay or Amazon, or I heard that even Barnes & Noble still has some of these. They carry still some of these. You might be able to find this, and that recipe is in here. Yeah, here it is right here. There I am in the kitchen of the restaurant, making it in a giant bowl here. This is a larger recipe. I showed you a scaled down version of this one today, but basically it's the same recipe. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Once again, Don and I would like to thank everybody for all the years of support at Bryan's Barbecue. We miss you all, but we are enjoying life and having a lot of fun. And it is fun to share some of these recipes with you so that you can make them at home. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, bye-bye. One last thing, just before I made this video, I did a little taste test comparing Duke's mayonnaise and Best Foods mayonnaise. Whichever side you're on, I don't know. I grew up with Best Foods, but just for the fun of it, I did a little taste test, and there'll be a video up on that, so check it out.